Hey y'all, it's Burgess Taylor, otherwise known as Journey with Burgess, and I'm a week late with my One Book July update, but better late than never. There's been a lot going on. That's how things are. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is a little bit of that, but I also wanted to talk about some of the other things. Over the past 2 weeks, I've been all over the place. I've been busy, I've been productive, I've been not so productive. I've been out of commission. I had a cortisone shot in my elbow again. I think I talked about my son broke his ankle the day before his birthday back in June. He just was able to take the boot off and start walking without the boot. So I'm still driving him around. He should be getting himself something else to drive. I've also been chauffeuring a family friend around. It's been a week since I had the cortisone shot. I had the cortisone shot last week and I'm feeling much better. Over the past 2 weeks of July, I have learned a few things, or I've relearned a few things, or maybe I just finally admitted or realized or something. I'm more of a journaler. I've talked about that before. I'm much more of a journaler than a quote unquote planner. When I think of planner, I think of an Erin Condren, a Filofax. I think of those agendas, the Franklin Covey. Now there are all different kinds of planners. There's disc bound planners, the Happy Planner, the Passion Planner, the Hobonichi Cousin Planner, the Jibun Techo. There's all different kinds of ways of planning. And then you also have bullet journaling, and they're different. I've been creative in anything and everything I use. Even sometimes my morning pages, whether it's in my planner or my bullet journal or my diary. I've merged things into one book, one journal for the most part. I still have a planner, but I have merged things. So we have the bullet journal and I have the Hobonichi Cousin. Now the Hobonichi Cousin that you see here, this is actually our house one. I do my personal stuff and our house stuff, my mom's stuff. But for today and tomorrow, I did what I would do in here. Have experimented with cutting down a day-free Bonichi from an A5 to a B6 plus. I cut it myself, and it's not exactly pretty, but it's the notebook that I use for work. I try to keep up with social media stuff, and I have that in the bullet journal too, in the journal. Bullet journal, omni journal, journal, whatever you want to call it. There's a difference between some of these things. However, at the same time, you can call it whatever you want to. I mean, there's no rules. A lot of people are like, oh, well, a bullet journal's not a planner. But a lot of us are using bullet journals to also plan. A lot of us are also bullet journaling in our planner systems. So it's a hybrid, a creative, problem solving. It's a way to work things out for ourselves. If doing one or the other doesn't work for you, why not do both, and whichever way works for you? And that's where I've been at. As much as I want to be able to juggle all the journals and all the planners, I can't do that. At least not right now. I've been simplifying. There's been a lot going on this year in general. Beginning of this year, my father-in-law died and a really close friend of ours died. It just feels like sometimes things can be overwhelming. And whenever things get like that for me, I either overextend myself with all the journals and their planners, or I simplify. It doesn't have to be one or the other, but sometimes it is. Right now, I have a few things that I'm kind of working out, and I haven't made a complete decision yet. I thought we'd talk about some of that, the indecision and the elusive planner journal piece. It's a much easier for me to get journal piece than it is for me to get planner piece, but I'm not really a planner at heart. I'm really a journaler at heart. I just have to plan. I have to organize things. Hello, ADHD, and it's necessary. I'm going to update you as I go along if I cut down the Hobonichi Cousin AVEC that I'm being sent. I should have it, let's look at the calendar. I should have it Monday or Tuesday. Whichever day it comes in, I will go to Staples. I'm going to measure it, and I'm going to go to Staples, and I'm going to get it cut. I may not cut very much off of the width. Let me get one of these is an A5 notebook. We're going to take my Document My Life journal out of here. If I put this in here, there's not very much really that would need to be cut off. Literally going to measure it with the B6. We have several different B6s and they're all a little bit of a different size. So this is what's left. But I don't want that much taken off. I'm going to take my handy dandy ruler. So it needs to be 5.5 inches by 7.25. That would fit in my punto. It would fit in plus from Moterm that I have. It should fit in any one of those. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But I'll show you. I'm going to take some pictures. I will try to create a bit of a journal planner hybrid vlog for that, where I show you what I'm doing. Because my goal, it's going to be the AVEX, so it's not going to be as thick. It's not going to take up as much room as far as the bulk goes, which is probably a really good thing, since I'm cutting it down and I'm not cutting it to an exact B6 size. The reason that I was thinking about doing this in the first place, I've tried the Jibun Techo this year. I started the year out with the Wonderland 222 A5 planner and journal. I don't like having Saturday and Sunday split like that. But I mean, if Saturday and Sunday weren't split the way that they are, I could use the very bottom for the weekly to do and kind of maybe do the Alistar method or something, the weekly. Anyway, and I have been saying for years I want a B6 Hobonichi cousin. I've been doing a lot more journaling, a lot more text journaling, a lot more Dear Diary journaling, a lot more journaling. The more journaling that I do, the better I feel, and the more I've been able to get planning done. It's been rough. The last thing you want to do whenever you have anxiety and ADHD is try to be organized when you're stressed out and overwhelmed, when something traumatic has happened and you're going through, like, say, grief and stuff like that. So I've been trying to be careful. I am planning, but I think one of the reasons I've been so all over the place is because I'm really not a planner, but I have to plan. Whereas some people, the planning part, the planners, and that's their hobby. I like the journaling. I'm more of a bullet journaler. But I am aware of the fact that I need everything in kind of one place. And whereas the bullet journal, you can put anything and everything in there. And I have put anything and everything in there. But it's harder to find things, even with an index. However, the bullet journal is more flexible. So there's no reason why you can't use both. There's no reason why you couldn't bullet journal in a Hobonichi cousin. There's no reason why you couldn't make your own Hobonichi in a notebook, call it a day. You'd have bullet journaling Hobonichi kind of style, but you could use a day free and make your own bullet journal, just keep the calendars and the other stuff in the front, because the way that they have the calendars and stuff like that in the front of the Hobonichi, that's fantastic. I love it. And I think one of the reasons why for years I've always had this love-hate relationship with the Hobonichi is I've tried to make it do everything I want to do, make it like the one book, and it's never going to work as the one book for me because I do longhand journaling and the Hobonichi cousin only gives you 1 day per page. The day free gives you more, so I think that's why I like using the Hobonichi cousin as a planner and the bullet journal for bullet journaling. And there's redundancy. There's definitely redundancy. I'm going to show you in a moment, but it's okay, because the more I write things down and over again, the more likely I am to remember it. So for me, let's say bullet journal versus planner or both. Planners, like I said, I think about Erin Condren's Happy Planners, Filofax, the Hobonichi cousin, the Passion Planner, Franklin Covey, all kinds of different. You can even, maybe even Traveler's Notebooks, like with inserts and things. Most of them are very pricey, and all the things that go with are pricey if you add all the things. And now if you're just a pen and paper kind of person, or just a pen and a highlighter or a color code, like some people use their pens like this Jetstream kind of things and they color code with these. Some people use highlighters like these to color code. Some people are all about the stickers and the decorating. Some people journal in watercolor and all different kinds of things in your planners. Planners are more of a personal organization system. When you think of like a day planner or an agenda. An agenda means, it actually means to do, things to do.
On your agenda you have things to do, right?
Your agenda is to do things. To me, a planner is where you have your events and your appointments, and you write things down because you know they're going to happen. So for me, a planner is more about future planning. The planner is about current planning. It's about keeping things organized. You put your bills down and when they're due, when they're going to come out, when you're going to get paid. Maybe you keep track of, say, how much you spend on groceries or gas or all of the above. Because like you have these different spaces, especially if you have a file of facts or something like that, you could set it up how you need to set it up. And or an insert, you can set up inserts in traveler's notebooks how you want to. To me, a planner is more of a fixed kind of thing. Even if you are kind of setting it up in an organized way, you can actually set up a file of facts so that you would have a combination of a bullet journal and a planner using like dot grid or grid paper inside of a file of facts. So bullet journal. Bullet journal is a system. It's a methodology. A bullet journal is sort of a record of things. You can use any notebook, any pen, any pencil. You could use composition notebook and a pencil to bullet journal. That's actually all you need. So it's very freeing and it's very simple and inexpensive. You could actually use a composition notebook and a pencil to plan, but you could put your own calendar in there and everything. But it sounds very much like a bullet journal, doesn't it? It is an organization system that helps you keep track of things, from tasks to medicine to appointments to packing lists, like say you're going on a trip. It's also a record of your experiences, your thoughts, maybe problem solving stuff, research, ideas, mind mapping, a log, that kind of different things. People are doing all different kinds of things in their bullet journals. Writer Carol puts it on the front of the book, what the actual bullet journal method is. It's a way to track the past. It's a way to order the present. So order would be to organize the present, and then you could actually design the future, so you're future planning. That sounds so like wonderful. But here's the thing with me. Just with me, I can't speak for everybody. My bullet journal is pretty much chronological. I start, let's do this. Let's go back to, in my bullet journal, and this is sort of a hybrid bullet journal. I have information about these systems, about actually diary journaling too. I have a tracker that I'm keeping track of things for the doctor. This is where I wrote the information that we were just talking about a minute ago, and how the bullet journal method, rather than planning, to me there's a difference, but you can do both. You can make a hybrid where it's one, or you could actually have a bullet journal and a planner. This is some personal journaling, like morning pages. So when you see this, you get to my journal. This is the regular kind of trackers. You get to my journal and there's things in here. Where are the things? So if I'm looking for, I mean, I could have it in a collection. Some things I could put in a collection, but other things, for me, it's much easier. Let's say it's much easier. I'm looking at this. Okay, we've got future plans going on. That's what you see here. Like, I had started this tracker for the doctor, and I was like, nope, I don't need it in here. Calendar, future plan. This is from December of last year, and then let's go here. So this is December of this year, and then we have January of next year. So I can future plan. I could also, if something comes up, and I have these calendars like this. This is 2023. I could highlight and write a little note if something comes up and it's for 2023. On the weekly pages, in October, this is my daughter's birthday, and I've already put like a sticker there. I know we're nowhere near October. But what I do if I'm future planning is I've gone ahead and written that out. Now, there is a place in your bullet journal for future planning, but I'm a visual person, and some of the things about the bullet journal system don't work for me unless I make it more visual, and that's what I need to do for myself. So when I'm looking at the week of, say, my daughter's birthday, she tells me that her and her boyfriend are thinking about going out of town that weekend. Can I watch the kids? She's asked me ahead of time. and then I'm going to go to the weekly there, and then I'm going to go to the calendar, and I'm going to look on my calendar. I'm going to go, okay, well, this is, let's see, what do we have going on in October? And if there's a few things, you know, she's going out of town here. She's going out of town this weekend. I know that that's her birthday, but I also have something else. David's got to something, or my mom has an appointment. I can watch the kids, but your Nana has an appointment on Friday, so I'm not going to be able to get them until Friday evening unless David gets home from work early or something like that. I just need to, like, I know ahead of time, this is what the planner does for me, is a visual representation for me. It is how I track the present and how I design things in the future. Well, I guess I should say it's how I track the past, organize the present, and design the future. So, you know, that way I can keep up with things. I think that's why I love having a Hobonichi cousin. It works perfect as a planner / journal. It does. It works perfect as a planner / journal. So here, my little shark, here, I know, okay, I've got this idea. I'm going to talk about this in the blog post. It's going to be different than the video I'm doing, but it will be very similar, have some of the same things. As you can see, I wrote bullet journal versus planner. This is my journal. I'm going to call it capital journal. Like artist with a capital A, well, this is journal with a capital J. This is the journal. You can call it an Omni journal. You can call it a creative bullet journal. You can call it a Bujo. You can call it a planner. You can call it whatever the hell you want to call it. It's my journal. And I do all kinds of things in here. I might sketch something out. I might do some mind mapping. I might do some watercolor and some journaling. I might add journaling and do things completely different. What I sometimes do every once in a while is I will pick a page way in the front, way in the back, and I'll maybe watercolor and put a little affirmation there. And I do tend to keep things where I'm writing notes to myself sometimes. Today, I have every cell in my body is conscious and communicates with each positive thought I have. That is an affirmation from the Spirit Junkie by Gabriel Bernstein, the affirmation cards, and they're really pretty. And that was my affirmation for today. These kind of affirmations are much better for me. It's more intentional than just saying I'm worthy. I am worthy. But what about being worthy? What am I struggling with my worth? What part of, where's that struggle? That's what I'm doing here. Now I have like all different kinds of things. I've been journaling in here. I put cards. I went to the doctor. I did some sketching. I did some more sketching. Sometimes I don't have anything. I have pictures, and then I'll go back in later and journal. It just depends. I love this, and it's all in one place. So this is a hybrid between a planner and a journal. Whereas the B6 the Hobonichi Cousin Avec that I'm thinking about turning into would be a planner. This is a hybrid. So I put personal stuff, I put pictures, like I said, I do all kinds of things. I have done all kinds of things. I don't limit myself in here. Some days it's all text and just the weather is, but some days it's nothing. Some days I just have a picture. It depends on whatever I'm in the mood for. Sometimes it's journaling. It depends. It is whatever it is. That's the freedom about this one. And this is the whole year one. These are different, but one of the things I've been thinking is I have all along wanted a B6. I do need A5s to plan out larger things, to do some mind mapping and write some ideas and things. I just like having the space to do it. And this is where I'm writing down things, and I'm talking about how practice. I need to continue. What do I want to do? I did do some of these. I've got to practice them some more. But there were things I wanted to do, and I kept up with. And although this picture is in here and in the Hobonichi Cousin, that's okay. I feel really good about what I'm doing. I think that the important thing to remember is that One Book July is really about what works for you. There's no rules for One Book July any more than there's rules for journaling or for planning or for a hybrid, or for whatever it is you're doing. There's no rules. This is up to you. It's yours. You can do what you want. That's where I wrote, I've been thinking about the original One Book July and how much fun it was. And that's why I ended up making this from a journal where I was really just, I got to write down yesterday and today's. This is what I, where I have like some goals and I'm just kind of writing things out. It's the longhand version of the planner, the stuff that I don't put in the planner. It's the stuff behind the planner stuff. And then I was like, and the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what? This is where I was, the picture of where I was practicing waves. The more I thought about it. And then I was like, oh, okay. So I had pulled a tarot card and an oracle card for the week, this week right here. And then I did a weekly plan and was like, okay, well, I wanted to document the weather. Okay. Oh, I didn't do any yellow there. I forgot my sun. What in the world? Okay, I have to let that ink dry because that's Lexington gray and it will be waterproof once it dries, but if it's not dry, This is working out really well for me and I love it because I can be creative or simplistic depending on my mood. This, like I said, this is more of a hybrid for personal, home, life, family, and then I have other stuff. We'll get into more of this. You have to do what works for you. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And people can talk about planner peace all day long, but if you're not doing what you know will work best for you, if you're not using the things that you know will work best for you, and you're only doing things because other people are doing them, I've been guilty of that, it's probably not going to work. And then you're going to get frustrated. And for the past many years, I have went back and forth between a quote-unquote omni journal or one book to rule them all and several books. And I always have a book that has a bit of everything combined in it. It's the one place that I can go to that always has like pretty much everything. It's my core system and it's always creative and I can't help that. It's either going to be the Hobonichi Cousin or it's going to be the bullet journal, and they're different. I'd never have enough time or enough space in a Hobonichi Cousin to write all the stuff out. I have a whole page and then I have another page for this, plus a tiny bit right there for this whole conversation that I've just had here. And I know I'm long-winded and rambly and I talk in circles sometimes, but it is what it is. If you struggle like I do with ADHD, with organization, you know, with your mind going a million miles an hour and all of the ideas and wanting to use all of the things and do all of the things, sometimes the best course of action is to do what feels the most organic and the most right. And if you're continuing to do the best right thing for you, eventually you will figure it all out and you'll have at least momentary planner journal peace. And that's okay, because when things change, the past year or two for me, more than that actually, I've found that I've needed different things. I found that I needed a space where I can write things out, where I can be messy. I've needed a space where things are a bit neater and more simplistic. Hobonichi Cousin. I've needed a place where I can put anything and everything in, you know, so it just depends. But I'd say that for the most part, I have a sketch journal, which is more of a document your life. I have a sketch book, have a personal document my life, document my day kind of journal. It's more for a family. It's got more personal stuff in it. I don't think I hardly ever show it except on Patreon. And then I have a bullet journal, creative journal. I have an astrology journal. I have all different kinds of things. But I'm not in all of them all the time. I am in the bullet journal and the Hobonichi Cousin, the document, the B6, the more sketch journal kind of thing. I'm in that the most. Those the most. And I have an A6 that I use for an everyday carry, and I write a daily reflection affirmation thing in it every day because it makes me feel good. If I get a random idea and I'm out and about, that A6 fits in my purse perfectly. While we're talking about purses, I have a new, I guess you call it a messenger bag. It's cloth. It's perfect for the summer. And I'm so excited about the transfer. I've been using my purple fossil satchel. It's not a Sydney satchel because it doesn't have the long handle thing, the shoulder, whatever. But it is a satchel, and I've been using it. This was one of my birthday gifts. It can be a crossbody, which is something that I absolutely love. I love the fact that it can be a crossbody. Yeah, because like whenever I go places with the grandkids and stuff, this frees up my hands, whereas that one, not so much. And the tote gets really heavy, so the tote's not been working either. I have a whipping toast in the oxblood red that's gorgeous and I love it, but I can't put very much in it anymore. So that's a catch up and an update on all the things. See you again real soon with another update. Don't forget to do the YouTubey things. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share, and comment. I'll see you again real soon. Bye, y'all. Have a great day.